How you going? Just got Josh here from Hoyt Archery here, just having a little bit of a shot here of the Alpha X from Hoyt. Just had a couple of shots here just a minute ago, and this is a really quite surprising bow. Like this one's a 60-pound bow and draws just so easy. The cam, I don't know why they went away from the cam and a half, but to be honest, this doesn't appear to be a problem. I know if you're one of the cam and a half fans, you don't like the fact that Hoyt's going away from that cam system, but to be honest, this is a cam system that most manufacturers are running with at the moment. They also have they've engineered a little peg on here, and that there is for your stand. So this is an extra. You don't get this with, well, you get that with the bow, you just don't get the little stand. So pretty much you just pop that down and it sits on here and sits on here, and there's your bow on the ground. You don't have to worry about it. So you've got your integrated sight mount here, like your pick rail sight mount that's on there. Bow quiver mounts that you would expect. It's got a rotating module. Be warned, that could be an issue for people because unlike a lot of manufacturers, the draw length that you see, 26 to 31 inches is actually done on 3 completely separate, what they call a base cam. So this cam has to be removed, another cam goes in, and then there's a different module. So not so much. This is the 30 that I'm shooting. This seems all right, but if you're 29 inches of draw length and you're thinking about getting one of these and you want a 33-inch one, you're literally plumb right in the middle. So it's like you're gonna max out one base cam because it's gonna be the maximum draw length, but if you go to the next one up, right, it's gonna be kind of there at the bottom. It's like 29 1/4 or something like that. So, if you're wanting 29 but you're 29 1/2, you really don't get it with the other one, with the smaller one. But if you go to the bigger one, you're kind of going to get 29 1/2, but you're never going to get back down to 29. So I think Hoyt have overlooked that. The majority of bows that get sold are 28 to 30 inches, at least here, but I do believe in general that would be seen to be somewhat true for most people, that 28 to 30 inches is going to be the core of their shooting. And literally Hoyt's 33-inch one is just, the cam options is just in a very, very horrible position. Other thing lacking, or supposedly to be said lacking, is that there's no real adjustment for moving the cam or twisting the cam or shimming the limb pocket or whatever. None of that exists on this bow. Like, it's take the axle out, take out the spaces and then move them around like we've done for quite some time. To be honest, I'm not big on that. Like, I don't do it myself very often, and for how often you do need to do it on a bow, I don't see it as being a huge downfall. But then, you could also argue that for the price of the Hoyt, you would definitely expect that there's bows out there, your Bowtech, I believe your Darton this year, your Elite, even PSC. So the first 3 have pretty much one you can just do with an Allen key yourself. PSC, they just have these little washers you can just pull out. They got a tool, they just pull them out. They're like a little C-clip, and they just push back in. They've proven to be good. People thought they might have fallen off the axles, but I've shot some PSCs with that system, and they don't fall out. That's not a thing. That doesn't really happen. So, even the PSC system's a fair bit faster. So, look, for the people who want to do their paper tuning and want to have that there, that Hoyt's going to get let down with that. But, if you're just looking at shooting a bow that draws nice, and I've got to say this, the VTM was very much the same, but, this bow definitely doesn't draw like a 60-pound bow. Like, it definitely seems very easy to draw. So, also has let-off adjustment on the cam here. Just a lot of manufacturers do it. Just a little grub screw, a little screw you pull out, and you can change the amount of let-off. And they do that just by simply stopping the cam before it quite lets off as far as it normally would. So this will move further forwards, and then instead of dropping way down where it's nice and light, it'll pull you up. So because that's how this is working, it's also going to slightly adjust your draw length. Not a lot really, but you know, it's going to slightly adjust your draw length. So overall, wonderful bow. Like the look, like all the holes, like you know what I mean, it's very sort of intricate, you know, the with all of the machining and everything. Yeah, in general, like it. Really nice bow, really reasonable weight. You know, I like these stands. Mind you, a thing to note with these stand systems that I do believe the majority of bows, like that's your standard stabilizer hole. This is the bottom stabilizer hole. This here I've put on PSE bows that have the bottom one. You know, they work fine. You know, you can actually use these on other bows that have that bottom stabilizer hole. It won't work from here pretty much because these legs aren't long enough. If the legs were longer, it would actually work from your stabilizer. But yeah, how they come, the stands, the go sticks, yeah, they'll only work if you've got a bottom stabilizer. So it's a Hoyt thing, but it doesn't have to be a Hoyt thing. If you've got that option on your bow, you can just buy them and bolt them on. I would assume, like I said, I've tried it on a PSE and it worked fine on the PSE. I would assume that it's any bow with that lower stabilizer mount, and then go sticks would just work perfectly fine. So yeah, I'll have another shot here. Like I said, I am a little bit surprised at just how easy it is to draw. But like I said, I did say that about the VTM. I thought the same thing. The VTM I thought was seemed very nice and easy to draw. I'm not necessarily going to say this one was any more than the VTM, but yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like it. So anyway, that's a rundown on the Hoyt. You know what I mean? Definitely a bow you should look at. Definitely a bow you should have a go at, like especially if you're hunting. Like I said, the biggest downfall that I see with this is just the, you know, they need more draw length adjustment, you know, because everyone else is doing it. And I know Hoyt's really against it, and I know, you know, they think they're doing the right thing by limiting the draw length so that you know, you earn the performance part of the cam system, which is their reasoning for it. But in reality, it just makes life hard for the archers and the archery shops. Like I said, their 33-inch one, which here in Australia would probably be the biggest selling, you know, hunting Hoyt bow, would be the 33-inch option. And if you're probably one of the most common draw lengths around that 29 and a half inches, you kind of really go. Like if you're 29, yeah. Like I'm normally 29, sometimes I'm 29 and a half, you know, so I'm one of them people that fall in that really horrible position where, you know, I'd have to shoot the bow and be sure of it before I bought it, and then that sounds all well and good, but then next week if I change my release date, I could go, damn, I want to take a little bit of draw length off. Oh, well, you can't do that anymore, you know what I mean? All of a sudden you've got to go buy a whole new cam and a module because you're the unlucky guy that's in the middle. They should really cross them over. To be honest, they have enough draw length. Like the 30-inch goes from 30 to 28, and I think it's 28 and a quarter or something. So the 30-inch one really does. If you're 29 inches, it's gonna be fine for your options there with your draw length. It's the 33. Like I said, it's just a real oversight from Hoyt to really have an extremely common draw length left in the lurch, not really being able to adjust or fine tune anything at a later date. Like you can do the best to get the bow correct before you leave the shop, but like I said, it's a release date change. You want to go from a wrist, you want to go from a hand, you want to try one that's got a little bit longer, you know, whatever, you know, any of that D-loop, any of them things, you might have to just knock a little bit of length off or add a little bit of length on. And for the 29-inch guy, he's not in there. And like I said, you know, for the price, they probably need to offer some type of a paper tune thing. Like I said, I'm not overly big on it, so it wouldn't bother me whether it had it or not. But you know, for the price that they're going to sell, they're selling, you know, for more money than some of the other manufacturers that do offer that system or a system along those lines. So yeah. Anyway, you know, have a look at it. It's a great bow. See you later. No. Okay. See you later. We'll try it again.